to discuss earlier?
Yes, ma'am. Could you give us your take on sustainability?
Mm, the future.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
what sustainability is. Sustainability is definitely the edge that we need right now. I'm actually very happy, to some people's dismay, that right now what's happening in our world is people are being forced to actually look at other alternatives and uh, solutions to survive. Okay, and sustainability involves learning what life needs to sustain. We actually are talking about thriving, which means to have the wisdom to know what to do and to do it and to be able to take care of ourselves. So I really like the fact that many people are getting off the grid. Like there's a tremendous amount of people that are starting to do wind and different energy resources. Uh, I was talking a couple of weeks ago to a man that uses magnetics, actually uses magnets to generate and create energy. And once you get them started, they're endless. So are there solutions out there? Yes, and there always have been. But as we've looked through the history of what happens with that, there's suppression that gets involved, and it stops the energy alternatives because then the big companies buy them out, squelch them, and a whole lot of other things that we don't have to talk about here. But obviously, it's gotten so, I would say, predominant in interest. It's not going to work anymore to try and shut them up. Okay, and I'm excited about that. Um, Sustainability takes us back to knowing where our food comes from and the quality and value of our food. And it doesn't just mean that you have to now go out and farm. In talking to sustainable communities, and that not everybody in that particular community farm. You know, they just do. They work with other people who do farm. So there's a lot of cooperative exchange in food resources and particular materials and wares that people need to sustain, okay? And that works for those. And then there are people who really get into the agriculture and the horticulture and all of the things that do the production of that. So it's really a complementary thing that happens. And when we realize that the only way we will survive is to have healthy community. Okay, no one person out there alone is going to make it. You have to have community. And it's a brain trust that you allow everybody to bring, their knowledge, their wisdom, and their perspectives on things so that you now have an advancement in the evolution that's going on. So sustainability is our future. It's the only thing that will make it. And I like it to see people that are interested, professional people, very well educated people that are looking to move to different areas and actually be a part of sustainability communities. Our schools, our colleges are now teaching sustainability. And in that, one of the things that we have to look at, and like most of the people that I talk to and go see, what the first amazing part of it is these people are business people. They're not just looking at solutions to gardening. They're not just looking to solutions for energy. Sustainability to every one of us is, how does the wealth principle work? How are you earning money? These people live well. They don't live meager. You know, they live very highly developed and skilled level existences. They're very technically sound. And so when you go into it and you look at how they could use the new technology to actually create a healthier and a safer way to live, and therefore their sustaining simply means that they're holding health, wealth, and happiness as far as I'm concerned. And basically we all need to get into that. It's really wonderful to read articles and things to where city people that are living in high-rise apartments, they're actually taking window boxes and little greenhouses that they can put in their windows or on their patios, and they're growing some lettuce and they're growing some things that can be tossed in their salad. And they're realizing, especially the testing that's being done, realizes this is healthy because of the joy they're putting into it. You know, oh, good gracious, it has to be 40 years now that I was actually involved in a research to where how plants react to us. And we got into exploring that plants actually react to people being naked. Okay, and we had so much fun with that. But what they reacted to as far as the being clothed was the various materials. You know, like if it was a synthetic that threw off certain emanations, you know, the plant was sensitive to that. And so we had a ball with that, but it brought plant, you know, especially from my exploring, because to my people and my indigenous roots, we see them as life and a life form, therefore an energy that needs the respect of a life because it's precious. And when I looked at that, it just helped me see the reality of that. But even more so, it was good material to get out there and publish so that people begin to interact with plant life as a part of our sustainability. See, if the plants don't make it, we're not going to make it. So instead of just chopping everything down, killing everything, there has to be an evolving of replenishing. So in sustainability, we're going to have to look at not only what can we grow to be healthy, how do we change our energy, how do we create a healthy environment and a growing, evolving environment. We need to then also look at the fact that in that we want to educate ourselves to be very, very financially literate. We want to understand exactly how businesses grow, and those businesses would grow because at this point you're finding a service that's very much needed and complementary to people's lives, and they're evolving. You know, so I just see sustainability as the solution that's come out of a lot of the oppressive states that people are going through in the economy and with whatever they want to call the ups, the downs of the market. You know what I mean? People have gotten tired of it and they're starting to look to solutions for themselves. I think it's so ridiculous and crazy that we have negative things that we say in regards to leaders that we've voted for and put in their positions. You know, we need to look at ourselves for thinking any one person has the answers on such a scale of massive need, and then we're going to actually criticize that person and actually say very nasty and disrespectful things about them. We need to look a little closer, you know, and the only thing that any leader can do is ask for the cooperation of the mass. And are we giving our leaders the cooperation of the mass? You know, are we letting them know what we think? Are we telling them what we are not approving of that we will not go further with? You know, all of that in leadership is important, especially to make sure that at the end result, a good leader wants an end result that actually satisfied and brought solutions to everybody's expectations. And in that, then we have a happy society. So when we say sustainability, it includes our politics. Those communities have to then form a governing principle and policies to carry themselves. So it puts them back in touch to what the President of the United States is facing. Okay? And then you have to have all of the religious considerations in that sustainable community. And then it helps you understand the politics of the religions. Okay? And so then when you say sustainability, we're talking about the whole gamut of what life is, aren't we? And it's time. It's so timely, and I'm so excited about it. I love watching the children when we teach them to plant corn, and we teach them to plant beans, and they put them in their little cups, and then they watch this life being born, and when that little shoot comes up out of the earth, they're, you know, and it's just fantastically exciting to them. It is to me too. When you then see that they understand it's energy and it's birthing itself, and then they watch it grow above the cup, and then it gets big enough to transplant to the earth and to let it grow. And then I watch them at harvest, how they've watched it grow, and it's so personal. And then they see the rewards of the harvest, and they want you to eat a bite. They want you to have one, you know. And it was this one little guy had like a big basket, probably about 10 or 11 ears of corn in it. And he was just running around and giving everybody one of his ears of corn. And then I watched his little heart when he looked at his basket was empty, because he was trying to give more. And it was so cool because how the community garden had been harvested. There was a great big table full of corn. So I run over there and got about 8 ears of corn, put it in his basket, said, "No, the earth's supply is endless," you know. And so he went around giving his corn out. But what he kept telling people was the story of how his corn grew and how it was born. It was in the earth. It was inside the earth, and how it just pushed the ground right up and come up, you know. And it's like he wanted them to get the message. And the message was contagious. That's sustainability. To give our children that wisdom, to allow them to know that they're not victims, that they're genius, and that they have solutions. And that the first solutions we want to know about is, what does it take for our physical well-being to sustain itself comfortably? Food, good shelter, and a community that nurtures the spirit, the mind, and the body. So I'm very excited about sustainability. Can you see that? Yeah.
Thank you
Yes.
very
All
much.
right. Very good. Thank you for the question.